aligned with this person whatsoever. I wish her nothing but the best. And from what I see, she's having a great life and she's doing her thing and she's very happy, and I am very happy for her. I don't really know her anymore, but I'm sure she's grown up a ton, and so have I. Before we get started, obviously make sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure to click the bell for my notifications because it's important, and give this video a thumbs up while you're down there. Anyways, now I have admitted in the past that I myself have had some crazy bitch moments. Everyone has crazy bitch moments. Even the calmest, level-headed Mother Teresa, deep breath, clear-minded person in the world has her crazy bitch moments. Not that I'm any of those things, but I'm just saying. But there is a huge astronomical difference between having crazy bitch moments and being a crazy bitch. Honestly, looking back at my time with this person, I do look at it with fondness because we did have a lot of fun together and she did mean a lot to me at the time. But sometimes it's hard to believe now, here where I am in my life, that I ever put up with this type of behavior. The amount of stories that I have. But that's kind of my issue that I learned about myself thanks to a year of therapy, is I seek out like emotionally unstable, neurotic people, and I try to fix them. Even if I'm not trying to fix them, it's like I feel like I need to support them and be there for them. Which is one reason that I have so many stories, is I'm very much drawn to these type of people. I seek them out. People who are very problematic. But not only am I drawn to them, but when they come into my life, I accept them, I bring them in, and I stick around with them as long as I feel that they need me. I'm like, oh, you're crazy, I don't want you in my life or around my loved ones. So like I said, I have a lot of stories about this friend in particular, but I think that this is the first one where I was like, oh, you're psychotic, followed by many more. So, as you guys know, I frequent dating apps. No shame, much shame, but no shame. I was with my friend a lot, and we were always in the same area, we were hanging out a lot, and we would be on dating apps while we're together because we like to spend really good quality time with one another. Since dating apps give you people based on location, we would often get a lot of the same people. We'd be like, oh, look at this person, did you match with this person? Or, oh, look at this person, and I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to match with that person. And we would have kind of this friendly banter over, you know, fighting for these people. And really, neither of us ever actually went out on the dates that often. We would every once in a while, but it was more so just to pass the time. Kind of like when people go fishing, but like throw the fish back in. So one day, this friend goes out on a date. She comes back and she's like, this date was so great, we had so much fun, and she detailed this date, and I was like, wow, that sounds amazing, let me see him. So then she shows me the guy, and I'm like, oh, I think I saw him before. And she was like, oh, did you talk to him? And I was like, I don't remember. And she was like, oh, you should check. So I open up my dating app, and we look through my messages, and this guy has messaged me like a bajillion times. We had talked a little bit in the beginning, a little bit of back and forth, but then it got to the point where I wasn't answering, and he got really drunk one weekend in like the mountains or in a cabin or at a festival or something, and he messaged me so many times, and she saw that and she was just like, I don't get why he would message you like that. And you could tell that she started getting a little bit jealous. And I was like, it's really not a big deal. I mean, we're all on these dating apps for the same reason. Obviously, you've messaged other guys on these dating apps. It's just kind of a coincidence that you and I are friends, but to him, it was like he didn't know you yet and he's messaging another girl on a dating app. He doesn't know we're friends. And she's like, yeah, it's just weird that he would message you so many times. And I was like, well, yeah, he was drunk, it's fine. But I could tell that that kind of put a little bit of a sour taste in her mouth, but I just thought it was sort of normal jealousy and it wasn't anything too serious. So fast forward a little bit, and there's all this drama, and she starts dating this boy really quickly, like exclusively, this is my boyfriend, and it happened really fast, but they were happy, and I was like, this is great. But right off the bat, I thought that there was something strange about it, because just the trajectory of the relationship, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna end well. She's getting really attached to this guy. She doesn't really know him. That's not really a part of the story, but also it kind of is. So one day, this friend decides to have a barbecue. She invites me, a few friends, and her boyfriend, and it's really fun. We're just having a fun little cookout. We're drinking, eating, good times. There were 10 people total at this party. This is a very important number. Now, there were ping pong tables. I like to think of myself as an Olympian ping pong player, but I suck. Also not an important part of the story. But as I told you, there were 10 people at this party. There were 2 ping pong tables, and you played teams of 2. So that means there are 2 people here, 2 people here, 2 people here, and 2 people here. So there's 4 people per table, 8 people can play. That means 2 people have to wait their turn to play. So this friend quickly kind of teams us up. She's with this guy, and then there's a couple, and then she just pairs everybody. She's like, okay, you guys are playing them, you guys are playing them, and then the loser will switch off with them. So she leaves. She picked the teams. She organized it. Me and her boyfriend to stand back and watch them play. They were playing for so long. Everybody's drunk. I don't really care because honestly, I don't like ping pong. I don't like bowling. I don't like any type of sport-like activity, especially sport-like activities that aren't actually sports. They're more so games. I don't like games that much. So basically, her boyfriend and I are standing on the sidelines watching them play for so long. And it's a little bit awkward because I found out later that they had had conversations about me, and she had brought me up and said like, so why did you message her so much? Do you think she's attractive? And that was something that she had brought up quite a few times to me, is she was like, I just think it's weird that my boyfriend obviously finds you attractive. And I get it, nobody wants to have a girl around all the time who their boyfriend thinks is attractive, but she's my friend and she thinks I'm pretty and I think she's very pretty and she's beautiful. I think that in most situations, everybody has pretty friends, and I'm sure that your boyfriend looks at them and is like, oh, that's a pretty girl, but you don't act on it. But she did have a weird thing about the fact that she knew that he thought I was pretty because he did try to talk to me quite a bit. So I know that it was this underlying issue, but it was something she never talked about with me, and it was just something we kind of ignored because what can you do about it? Anyways, this is where the story happens. He's holding a bottle of wine. I'm standing right here, and we're standing there pretty much in silence this entire time because we don't really want to talk because we know that it would make her uncomfortable, and we're not really bonding because there's this kind of awkward tension between us of like, oh yeah, I remember when you drunk messaged me all those times before you started dating my best friend. But he at one point goes, hey, you want a sip of the bottle of wine? He's holding a whole bottle, okay? I go, sure. Take the bottle of wine, take a swig, hand it back. They continue playing the rest of the night. Me and him stand awkwardly on the side the rest of the night, and then we go to sleep. The next day, I go to my friend's house and I'm hanging out at my friend's. I didn't talk to her yet that day. We were supposed to hang out that night, and I get a text message. When I say text message, I mean a novella. It's this long. It's one of those texts that you have to click open to read, and it's just spewing hatred at me because she can't believe that me, her best friend, whom she had invited into her home for a party with her closest friends and her boyfriend, could dare disrespect her in the most disgusting girl-on-girl crime that you could possibly commit of flirting with her boyfriend. And she looked over while she was playing ping pong, and she was absolutely sick to her stomach to look over from her ping pong table and see us sharing a beverage. First of all, this is the girl who teamed us off and put me and her boyfriend, who she was already uncomfortable about the situation, alone for a very prolonged period of time. That's the first thing. Second, sharing a beverage. She makes it sound like him and I have a glass of wine and we're just like, your saliva. Your saliva. No! It was a bottle of wine. It's such a just like young adult thing to do where it's just like, oh, passing the bottle, everybody have a drink. It was obviously just like an icebreaker of, hey, I'm holding the whole bottle of wine, drinking it to my face. Would you like a sip since we're standing here in this really awkward situation? It's just so asinine. Third of all, the fact that even if we had been sharing intimately a beverage, the fact that me, her best friend, she thinks that me doing that is a sign of me trying to steal her boyfriend and warranted this much text message is nuts! She never let that go. And the rest of the time that they dated, which wasn't long, but then they did, and then they didn't, and then they did, and then they didn't, she did not allow us in the same room. So if he was coming over to something, I couldn't be there. Whenever she was hanging out with him, I couldn't be around. She wouldn't talk to me about him. She told him that he couldn't talk to me. Like at one point there was another situation where it was like all friends and we were all just kind of hanging out, and he did not talk to me the entire time, and he kind of kept shooting me glances like, but yeah, that was that was the first time I tried to steal my best friend's boyfriend. There were many other times, and I would love to tell those stories if you would like to hear them. So if you would like to hear those, leave this video a thumbs up. If you